follow God, then you will have eternal life. If you don't, you won't have life.
Right.
You're gonna be lost.
Right.
Was this
like
God's quote?
Huh?
Was this quote person, a parent talking to his child?
It's wisdom, you know.
Solomon.
Yeah, wisdom that is talking.
Because in mommy is thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long.
Right.
So finding happiness in life, that sounds like
That's
God gave.
God's wisdom.
Right.
That's what He wants you to find. Keep.
Okay, like I said, we know that the world got its way of lifestyle wisdom, but it's going against the things of Yah. Like I said, the world is get all you can get and live the best life in this world, and it's all done. But Yah, He wants you to get His wisdom and obtain eternal life that you might live forever. The hope. Okay, Shani, you want to
About being fruitful, all the rich soils, an analogy of continue to produce fruit.
Okay.
In other words, people who hold on to the word, persevere, and produce a good harvest.
Right.
Stick to the word.
All right.
Third question is why is it vital that we remain teachable and submissive to God's instruction? And we're gonna read Romans 6:12. Does anybody have that?
I can do Romans 6:12.
Okay. Timothy 3:14 through 17, and 1 Timothy 4:12-16. You want 2 Timothy 3:14?
Okay, Romans 6:12 says that it said, "Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye shall obey it in the lust thereof." Okay, that was Romans 6:12.
You wanna explain that?
Okay, he was letting know that we ought to not let sin reign in our body.
Right.
We ought to put away sin, in our life, not just continue to hold on to it, but it's a daily thing that we ought to get rid of.
So what do you mean by not let sin reign?
Like I said, don't let it overshadow you. Take control of your body.
So that means to me, that don't mean that we're not going to sin intentionally, and that means it's going to happen.
Right?
But don't let that consume you to where you're just the evil, all out bad person. You don't even try to do no good.
Well, I'm saying, that's why I said don't let sin control us.
Right.
So that means that, if you're not letting sin control you, that means you letting God's word,
Control.
God's spirit control you. So, you got Christian people that want to say, well, we born in sin, so therefore, we can't help but to sin.
Right.
The Bible let you know that, that we can control, our life. We don't have to sin. But, you don't let no one tell you that, yes, that it's impossible not to sin.
That's what they say.
It is.
I'm saying it is if you ain't following God's word, if you ain't connected with His spirit.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
I just think that there's unintentional sin.
Yes.
You don't try to, so it's going to happen. It's just about you staying in that.
Well, what is my intentionally? Unintentionally.
Unintentional.
You doing things without thoughts.
Or not on purpose.
Right, and you're not thinking about what you getting yourself into or whatever. But you know, a child.
Governed by the Spirit. And when they're written in your heart and your mind, that means, and governed by the Spirit, then the Spirit man has control. And so you're gonna think when something enters into your mind to do, you know that it's wrong, you're gonna have another spirit come up there and say, no, this ain't supposed to do this.
Right. You know, take this, you know, like on your job or something, at school or something, you know, someone said, hey man, they got some food over here, man. Hey, everybody's getting it tastes good. And then you know, you run over there and start you know, chopping down on it and not considering what it is. There you catfish, pork, shrimp, or whatever.
Right.
Then here you're an 8. So that's what I'm saying. You're not considering, you're not thinking. You just going about what the crowd is doing or what people saying.
Right.
You know, but a child, y'all gonna say, wait, oh no,
Right. You gonna be self-
nah, hey, I ain't messing with that.
What about lying to save your life?
Okay, now if someone's you know gonna trying to kill you or whatever.
Lying is a sin.
But see, you got to consider though, ain't that what Abraham did? Okay.
But see, I'm saying to me, I'm saying you're not constantly making this a practice
Right.
to do this out there. So I'm saying a lot of time people do it to make a practice
Practice
to,
line.
right, to sustain in this world. But y'all don't want us to continue to lie to get by in this world.
That,
Keep it in mind.
That's the point AC mentioned earlier.
no, that's a little different there.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Unintentional sin.
But see,
Or intentional sins, which you know that this is wrong, but I believe it's talking about the character. If you try to make this a practice of your life to just sin all day, every day, and you ain't giving no thought about it, then yeah, that's wrong. But if you do encounter some sinful acts, that's not your character. That's just something that happened. But when you're still trying to live righteous, that's gonna show too. That's like you give no credit for your righteousness.
Okay, I see. Brother Miles has his hand up.
If you tell me, say, you go to Sabbath, if you go to church, now I'm gonna shoot you. Well, I'm not gonna fight you or come against you for that. If you shoot me, you shoot me. If you shoot me for going, if I start going to church on the Sabbath, and you shoot me, I'm automatically saved.
that's a different situation.
Now, but if you come up to me, take something from me, and you go, yeah, I'm gonna defend myself.
If you go to work, they gonna shoot you.
Huh?
If somebody say, if you let me see you at work tomorrow, and I'm gonna shoot you.
Well, then I might not be there.
That's different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm calling the police and have them picked up.
But then
Whether it's intentionally or not, sin is sin. That's what our pastor teaches us to do. Call sin, no matter what
right.
the circumstance. Right.
Okay, you got a hand on it.
If you lie, it's a sin.
Yeah.
But if you do it for a good reason,
It's still a sin.
I know, but y'all forgive me for that.
Yeah,
It's still a sin.
Right, it's still a sin.
Yeah, see, it's all sin.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're gonna lie to protect someone to save their life,
Yeah.
that's a different story.
Or
It's still a sin.
what if you lie? What if you lie to
Right.
because if you tell the truth, then it's gonna cause more harm than good.
That's a point.
Like if I cheat on my girlfriend, if I say, hey, I didn't tell you at the time because I knew it would cause more problems.
I'm gonna tell you.
So I kept it to myself. But then when it hit the fan, I was open about it.
So you're saying that she found out?
Well, Well, she didn't find out, but she questioned me about it.
Okay,
And I told the truth.
okay.
So
But-
withhold the information. Don't you say that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's the same.
Withhold the information.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, he finna go to the next,
Go ahead,
next verse.
2 Timothy chapter 3.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, 2 Timothy 2:14
Three,
through 3:14 through 7.
Through 14.
But you learned it, and the calling to have from who have known the Holy Scriptures, which can give you the wisdom that leads to deliverance through trouble, grief, and invaluable for teaching the truth, convincing of sin, correcting fault, and training in right living. Thus, anyone who belongs to Yah may be fully equipped for every good work. And the question was, why is it vital that we remain teachable and submissive to God's instructions? Because one thing, it convicts us of sin. I mean, it corrects our faults. Like if we believe in the scriptures, if we believe in the scriptures, it would convict us of our sin.
Right.
But if you don't believe in Yah, sin is just an everyday thing to you.
Right. I'm saying it plus, like I say, it's a thing to make us wise if we continue to hold on to the scripture. It's going to increase your knowledge more and more about what Yah delight in and what he don't delight in. Okay, shut your head out.
To me, this question, to me, is referring to is that we remain teachable and submissive.
Right.
It's not necessarily asking you about your sins. It's saying, why is it important for us to stay teachable?
Right.
Because it's easy for us to get the big head. We
Right.
know everything. We got it all. We arrogant. We know
Right.
it all. We don't need to learn nothing else.
Right.
And
So
being
right.
submissive means you're being humble enough to take heed to when you hear knowledge.
Right.
To take it. Not be like, I ain't hearing it. You dumb and stupid. I ain't gonna listen to you.
So
Or I
that's
consider you less than me, so I ain't gonna take it, even though it seems like it's words of wisdom. Then you're not remaining teachable and submissive.
right. So like I say, he want us right. He want us to stay the attitude that we can be taught.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picking up for this.
Yeah. You right.
Isn't it somewhere where it says, well, it does say a little child shall lead you, in the Bible.
Right. As is now.
But it's like the illustration, if a child tells you something, like listen to it, it doesn't matter what the age or whatever. You can't think that they don't know or they can't tell you anything.
And that's good that she mentioned it, because that goes right into my verse,
Uh-huh.
my scripture.
What? For today.
Yes, 1 Timothy, the next scripture.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then.
It goes right into that actually,
Okay. Go ahead.
because you are young.
Right.
Instead, set an example for the believers through your speech, behavior, love, faith, and by being sexually pure. Until I arrive, pay attention to public reading, preaching, and teaching. Don't neglect the spiritual gift in you that was given through prophecy when the elders laid hands on you. Practice these things and live by them so your progress will be visible to all. Focus on working on your own development and on what you teach. If you do this, you will save yourself and those who hear you.
So, other word is saying, practice what you preach.
Yep.
Yeah, practice what
Be
you
an
preach.
example to the believer.
For the believer,
Even though you're young, hey, your job is to be an example.
and
And you approve yourself that you are worthy to teach them.
right, and that's why we try to teach our young kids. Our young folks. Hey, when you out there morning, don't be cutting up like them. Show yourself to be different from them. Let them know that you still a Hebrew Israelite, but instead of that, we want to get out there and be like them. you know,
Which part?
huh?
So which part?
What part?
Get out there, act like them in which way?
You know what they do.
Oh, it's a lot of ways.
You're right.
Talking
They
about-
go out there and sexually.
Right, I'm saying,
Ice and cut.
well, I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying,
Make
you
sure
out
they
there,
active.
you out there smoking up, shooting up,
Selling up.
selling up like they are instead of, some of them, he might be eating pork, it might be them. Okay, all right, see, that time is up, his time is up. Okay. Time back up to the superintendent. Yeah, very good.
Is that everything anybody wants to say?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Now we're gonna have praise and worship.
Tell who's facing which people is child. Who's facing which today?
Zen, Washington, and Xavier. Washington. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Now we got.
Can we all stand
Yes.
for the Shema?
We turn to the east. Do we turn to the east? Just all face the east, baby.
We can all face the east. Shema.
Wait till music. Take your time. I know y'all nervous, but just take your time, okay?
Feeling good, feeling good.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify you. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam. For the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now you have to introduce.
Now we have the reading of Hallel by Sister Nadine.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Everybody read the baby. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher Kitchener, Bamitzvotah, B'Tivanu, Nikra HaHillel. Blessed art thou, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us his commandments in our
Praise God. Hallelujah.
Praise God.
Psalms 150 chapter. Praise mighty acts, praise him according to his excellent greatness.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the sound of the trumpet, praise the psaltery and harp.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the timbre and dance, praise him with string instruments and organs.
Hallelujah.
Praise him upon the loud cymbals, praise him upon the high sounding cymbals.
Hallelujah.
All together.
Let everything that has breath praise God. Praise ye God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Psalm 150 chapter. 1 through 6. Now we'll have our reading song.
Shabbat shalom.
And where he going, he can't go there. All right. That's enough. That's enough. We still waiting. Has he written you back? The last one? Well, he written me back. And then wrote him again. Do you know how to do it now? Yeah. Well, I've been going to another girl because I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna give you some money. Nah, it's easy. They don't show your name. No, it's not that. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
All right. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, baby. Shabbat shalom.
I don't even know. Not the back. Nobody touched Brother Yuri's back today.
Shalom. I think I got everybody. Watch out. Watch out, come on, baby. The queen of Israel. And you're my sister. Hallelujah!
I don't know. I slept wrong. I didn't sleep. I gotta get back to this
Hallelujah.
This too shall pass.
Now we'll have our first song, Lord, you're a good.
Leave it too. Like,
Come on, let's get excited in the house of God. Come on.
today. He's the God of salvation. He's the God of all creation. He's the one who set you through. Come on, prepare and omega, Redeemer and my Savior. Here's what you got to do. Forget all the problems, forget all the worries. God will take away. He will make a way for you. Forget all the problems, forget all the worries. It's a brand new day. He's a God that is forgiving. He's a God that is redeeming. He's a God that is giving you. He's the God of every season. The God for every reason. Here's what you got to do. Forget all the pride. Forget all the worries. Forget all the problems. It's a brand new day. Forget all the
Next song is going to make them want to dance.
my soul. One on my knees and give the Lord praise. Come on here. All right, Israel. What the Lord is for me. I think about all right now. All right, Israel. Woo! Come on.
Hallelujah!
Yeah, one more. Okay.
One more? Oh, yeah, we got to
Move right there.
Thank you, Sister Ross.
Yeah, right. You gotta get into it, huh? All right.
What y'all sit down for? They tell you sit down. They got 15 days.
They tired.
Oh, that
Well, we don't spare our energy here.
You got it, though. You got it. Come on down,
God is good. God is good. All the time. All the time. God is good. God is good. All the time. All the time. Well, he's
get all your Who was and is to come, eternal day, the Holy One, who likes the sky, and makes thunder roll, who wears the crown, the Lord of hosts. Everybody sing it, hallelujah, almighty reign, come on sing it, hallelujah, almighty reign. Everybody say hallelujah, almighty reign, sing it again, hallelujah, almighty reign, who reigns forever, eternally, and that is he, bow every knee, his name is holy, he stands alone, who sits forever, upon his throne. Everybody sing hallelujah, almighty reign, come on, sing it, hallelujah, almighty reign. Everybody say hallelujah, almighty reign, say it again, hallelujah, almighty reign. Who was and is to come, the day, the Holy One, who lights the sky, makes thunder roll, who wears the crown, the Lord of hosts, everybody sing it, almighty reign, say it out, hallelujah, he reigns, almighty reign, yes he does, almighty reign, who reigns forever, eternally, and that is he, bows every knee, whose name is holy, he stands alone, and who sits forever, upon his throne. Everybody sing it, almighty reign, yes he does, almighty reign, he lives to reign, almighty reign, he's all alive, almighty reign, hallelujah, hallelujah, sing it, hallelujah, sing it, almighty reign, let me hear you sing it, hallelujah, sing it, I know he reigns, almighty reign, almighty reign, almighty reign, almighty reign, almighty reign, almighty reign, almighty in power, almighty in power, Lord of glory, nice to see you, we give you praise, forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and forever, almighty reign, almighty reign.
Now we'll have Kyla and Nadazer to read the.
Take your time. Yes. Make sure everybody can hear you clearly.
The inside of his glory.
Can't hear you, y'all. She's reading.
The inside of his glory. He
Turn it
that
off.
hath an ear, turn it off.
Hold on.
The inside of his glory. He that hath an ear, what the Spirit is saying to the churches. Isaiah 62:10-12. Pass through the gates. Prepare the way for the people. Build up the highway. Remove the stones. Raise a banner for the nations. The Lord has made proclamation to the ends of the earth. Say to the daughter of Zion, see his reward is with him, and his recompense accompanies him. They will be called the holy people, the redeemed of the Lord. This banner which Yah gave, representing Jerusalem and her king, the man whose name is the branch, Zechariah 6:12-13. Isaiah 18:3. All ye inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see ye when he lifteth up a trumpet in Zion on the mountains, and when he bloweth a trumpet, hear ye.
Rejoice in the King, let them praise his name with dancing. Let them sing praises to him with timbrel and the loud. Oh, his people, and he will bless the humble. Sing to the Lord the song in the congregation of the
Let the saints rejoice in his glory. Let them sing for joy. Praise for their name.
and to it soul in
This is God's time.
the Lord takes pleasure in
He
his
will reign to his people.
and he will bless the
Israel is strong. He shall be glorified in Israel. Hallelujah. Praise God.
Sing to the Lord the song in the congregation of the righteous.
Israel has finally come to the light. Israel depends on their God. Amen. One and only. God of the universe. He has given a banner to the nations. This is God's universal restoration action. We have the 12 tribes. We have the 12 apostles of the Lamb. This is God's act on the heart of Israel. Gather yourselves together before the wrath of God come against you, and you will not be hid. Glory! Praise God!
Sing to the Lord the song in the congregation of the righteous.
Universal restoration action. Praise God! Glory! Praise God! Thy kingdom come. Let thy will be done. In earth, in us, as it is. Hallelujah! I want to make it clear to the congregation of Israel that the boys, they picked out their song. And one thing I want to make very clear that I want to make sure that they had the papers and that it had no Jesus. So I want to say they did good, but there's a song later on we correct. So
Thank y'all. Okay, where y'all go to the gym? Where you gotta call that?
Now we're gonna call on the teacher for service.
We're gonna do papers to class number one. Keno? The paper to who's class number one?
Oh.
Who's here to serve? Want to get up there, sir?
Darius Washington. No class number 2. Class number 3 is David Washington. So.
Sister Tyler, you got to move brother Lucas. You have to look at it. Brother there, you got the young man, his secretary. No, Keon, he's not here. You moving out your way. Come here, Kylie. Ladies, this is going into class number 3 to 7 8 take the offer. Immediately.
Since Ruby just called, they're ready to come in town.
Brother Mine already gone.
Oh, okay.
It just looks like a lot, but it's really Oh, okay. Yeah, it's nice. Shabbat shalom. Okay, so for today's text go lesson. Sister Ruby is this time.
Sister Ruby and Marnell Wade. We think that's the only absence.
That's not for you.
Oh.
Talk to the mic, honey, because they can't hear you, baby. You don't understand.
Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Okay.
head, shaking no.
Okay, is that better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Today's lesson is about what is the role of the elder women. So, what are y'all opinions about that?
Role of who?
Elder women.
Elderly.
Yeah, the elderly women.
Okay. Anybody?
To be examples to the younger
Yes.
women, to help show them the way, you know, to be a good example to the younger.
So what do you consider as elderly?
Like kind of like how the elder women in the church, like what is their role for the younger women?
Okay, so you're saying,
Or the younger women, or just in general?
Like both in general and for the younger.
so you're saying like, older women.
Oh, well, like me. I'm
I
a lady.
the teacher answer, so if she can't, then we got teacher over there. that can answer. So, okay, if we saying that older, like, you know, someone older than you, or
Yeah, someone older than me or anyone in general.
like Shonda.
Yeah.
Sean's not old.
Well, he's
I'm her
older,
elder.
but she is, you know, been here longer.
Yeah.
And you know, study wise, you know, knowledge wise.
I got a hand.
Oh,
So are you saying that the older women's in the church
yeah.
that are in the church here,
Yeah, so what is their role model for?
role model for the church?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it all depends on, you know, their roles, because see, person is old, that don't mean they got any sense. I mean, that don't mean they're old, because see, they have to have spirituality who are old, but don't have any spiritual sense.
They're still wild, like.
They're still like a young woman. They don't have any, you know, in my opinion, they just ain't got to the spiritual point of their lives that they're ready to give kind of input to a younger woman. You think that's like that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sister Jenny.
Are we speaking about women that are in the church?
Well, yeah, that's what she was talking about, women in the church.
And you saying they don't have,
I'm not saying all, I just say some.
Yeah.
They just don't have it.
they don't have any?
I said
You
they.
gotta be
No, I don't say they don't have any at all, but I'm saying she's saying for it to be a role model and somebody to give her some spiritual advice. Everybody in the church ain't that,
Okay, makes you saying.
right? Is that right?
My
That's what I'm saying.
My personal opinion is, for an elderly woman, I think she should take the younger women under her wings and like give them advice about life. Of course, y'all have to cooking, you know, different things that they know a woman would, you know, would do.
Home keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just in general, like giving them general like advice and stuff like that. You know, have Bible studies, all that. That's my opinion.
Okay, ready, Kilo?
I think they should treat the younger women. I mean, teach the younger women how to treat a man, how they treat their husband, and you know how to serve y'all. I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, she said the role of the older women
Should be.
Right.
so that's what I'm bringing.
Okay, so what to you guys what would be the main 5 things that a woman should teach? Like younger women or men in general.
5 things?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
Okay, you talking a little bit.
Okay, so in your opinions, what should be 5 things that women or men should teach their younger children?
I think number one should be on the list is keeping y'all first in your life. That should be number one.
Okay.
Number two.
And number two is definitely how to treat your husband. And definitely, when you say you treat your husband, that means, he's next in line under y'all.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be your head. And he's definitely not gonna tell you anything that is not in line with what y'all has.
Okay, so what about for the men? What about for the men?
Well, you said a woman, right?
No, with the question she mentioned man or
she
woman.
mentioned me.
Oh, okay, I thought it was just maintaining okay.
So the men.
I was here first.
So the men the same thing. Same thing for the men.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
And I mentioned some things, and I don't want to overwhelm our conversation because I didn't want to go too far deeply to what we're saying. But the scripture said that silly women had entered into, and they laced with sin and lust, and they draw men unto their destruction. So you kind of, to be honest with you, it's very hard sometimes to get somebody of that caliber to kind of give some advice to women, to bring them up into the way they should go, because they're not doing it themselves at their own house, and they're trying to run somebody else's house. So you got a lot of things that we have to look out for. I understand your question, and it's just a loaded gun to me, because I don't know which way, when I mean by a loaded gun, I mean that it's a loaded question, because if you can go any another way with it, because the way it is, I think you're on right spot on hand, but it's not very many in the church that are qualified to do what they do.
Well, there are some.
Okay, so
I said there are not many. I didn't say there wasn't any.
I didn't say you.
Come on now,
Stay with the question.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is joyful, not
Another
Don't make it confusing.
danger is when the Bible says to train up a child in the way that he should go. All parents that is in the truth should do this. And that just falls in the line of putting y'all first.
Brother Kelly, did you have anything or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it goes for the same thing with the women. A man, a boy should be taught how to, to put y'all first and how to treat his wife.
Correct.
Same thing.
Okay, Rafa?
This to me should go for both of them.
Correct.
Women and the men. What I try to teach, is how to get a husband and how to get a wife.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there and get a female, you go out there and get a man
Correct.
or a male.
Correct.
But they ain't a husband and they ain't a wife. So that is something that certainly needs to be taught how to get it. There's a certain way to do things.
Malign, okay. We'll malign the word of God. I guess that's what you should be coming. You should be in line with the word of God. Okay. Singly encourage the young men to be self-controlled. Now that's simple, just self-control. In everything, set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching, show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech. Whatever you say, let it be solid. A speech that cannot be condemned. So we have to make sure we live a life so that it don't be condemned with how we live it, and we're saying one thing and living another.
so that those who oppose you may be ashamed, because they have nothing bad to say about us. So this instruction here is letting us know how that we should be those who are governed by the Spirit of God. This is not talking about people just governed by their own style of doing things.
Correct.
This is my way, or this is the way I see it. It's not what you see. It's what Yah sees that the true child of God should be looking at instead of what I see. Because what I see usually is coming from the carnal man. It is not coming from the spirit man, because the spirit man is governed by the word of God in everything. That's enough.
Okay, Macy, I see you had your hand up.
This is my personal opinion along with what they said. I think it's essential for older women to teach young women how to love themselves as well. Because when you love yourself, that's how you make people respect you, especially when it comes to men, you know? So I feel like that's essential too.
You say something about respect.
No, I said older women should teach young women how to love themselves, because that means that they demand respect from other people, especially the men.
Okay.
Okay, man, keep on.
I think another big part of it is if you meet someone and your parents tell you they don't like them, they don't know good, you should listen to them.
Amen.
I think a lot of times we're so in love with the person, we don't listen to our mother or our father or whoever else sees the bad in that person you're with.
Yeah.
And then you go on and you get hurt because you don't listen.
Okay, sis, your turn.
Okay, that's true. But on what Macy was saying, when the older woman comes and try to teach, the younger, they also should listen. And they kind of tied in on what Nico was saying, you can't see that person, that man or that woman, but your mother can see things. Your spiritual mother can see things. But a lot of times, you have to have that experience if you don't take their word for it. And during the experience, it'll teach you to listen and observe. And just don't jump in with, what's been mentioned, the calls or looks or whatever. That, listen.
Okay, Matthew.
Now, there's pros and cons. And sometimes it's pros and cons to anything. What I mean by pros and cons, there have been situations that I've seen in my life that, sometimes a mother can give advice, and sometimes they can just be playing home records, and they can wreck somebody's home. So I guess you will have to have a spiritual understanding of who you deal with, because there are many instances of mothers who go overboard and who have wrecked the home of many good families. So in the church there shouldn't be, but who knows? So we have to do in any situation.
Can you read the question again?
And how many do you have already? You got five?
But, definitely, the parent, the mother, the father, definitely teach their children to respect God's word. And if as this goes for male or female child, anytime they connect with someone, and that person, trying to get them to disrespect God's word, then they already know where you stand, and when they connect, unless you don't tell them, so if anytime they're trying to get you to disrespect God's word, then you know that person is not for you. So,
Yeah.
So I'm saying, you know, cause if they try to get you to disrespect God's word, then they're disrespecting you as well. What was the question?
What are the 5 main important things that women or men should teach their children?
Can't hear you. She's answering.
Is that in here? I saw somebody else got a question.
Probably gave you about 20 of them.
I was gonna ask you, did you get 5?
I got some of the 5.
Okay.
Okay, for my opinion, what 5 things that women or men should teach their children? For women, I think for older women, I think they should teach the younger women how to have a successful marriage, how to be a good mother, how to run your house, how to make sure everything is in order. Of course, how to cook, clean, all that. Yeah, kind of can help me. How to teach somebody to be respectful, how to respect others the way that you would want to be treated. Teach young women how to be good mothers, how they should lead their children on the right path.
More than 5.
Yeah. And also how to be like a teacher, like to teach women about kind of give teaching advice, like give them advice about not only just the word of Yah, but like the struggles of whatever you're going through and how to cope with that, and that they should pass down whatever wisdom and knowledge that they have and that they were taught, and just pass it down, and to cope with the responsibilities of life, and not only just your life but your successes and your failures, because women need encouragement, because some have low self-esteem and they don't really know how to handle that. So some of the women just need that encouragement, that edge to push them to keep them going.
They had one at the same time. The man. So teacher.
Hey, it's a
I think I've had my hand the longest because I was up way while ago.
I think the way you're leaning, no one knew you had your
I
actual
didn't
hand.
see it.
Because it looked like you were sitting there like this.
Yeah, it looked like you were doing like
Yeah, I
this.
didn't see
So I
it.
didn't think you had but that's up to the teacher.
Okay, Sister Matthews. Sister May.
You didn't hear it?
Oh,
Yeah, took it out of her mind.
maybe it'll come
We
back.
didn't see it.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah,
Hold on to it.
Yes, Sister May.
Otherwise, I think it's in your, don't forget about our rest wear. So we should at least, carry out our rest stuff too. So that's,
I think I left out a part before. I think one of the biggest parts nowadays is peer pressure to have sex, and let our children know that there's nothing wrong with being a virgin, because that's peer pressure in schools and your friends and everything else. Like I said, I had a intern at work I was working with. This buddy was making fun of him. He was 21 years old and he was a virgin. And him and his wife was gonna get married. And his buddy was giving him a hard time about it, drive it before you try it and all that crap. And he told me about it, and I said, nah, man, you doing the right thing. And he was like, dang, that's the first response I done got like that.
Amen.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a virgin. Yeah. And if you make the person you getting with respect you because of that, then, they'll respect you.
I think you're blessed to have both mother and father to be there with you and to give you some guidance in your life. And all the things you said are really inside you already have it. Some of us, like myself, I didn't have all the convenience and being in the truth like you do. I had to grow up the hard way where my grandmother taught me all that she ways, but she was right in many things that I just didn't have a father's guidance, but she, you know, helped me as much as she could between my mother and dad. And of course, my father was in prison, so I couldn't get anything from him. But I think you're blessed to have the package of a home that have y'all and have the proper guidance and to have the insight you need. So that's what I'm saying, that you were really blessed to have that.
I just want to add on to what Brother Keno was saying, along with peer pressure and having sex, but you also have peer pressure of doing drugs, weed, popping pills, getting drunk. So I also think that should be taught as well, you know, to avoid those things.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too, nowadays, I always imagine how I teach with my kids. Because I think of all of the reality that they are facing these days. Girls, you know, it's not the 50s and 60s where we only trained them up only to worry about pleasing their husbands, you know, as their career choice. Women have careers these days. And a lot of times it's good because a lot of the men don't. So they need to learn how to, you know, be able to fend for themselves. And also to teach a man to have to take care of himself as well. In case he don't find a virtuous woman, he can go cook his own self a meal, you know, until one dude come along. But I teach them about that, and that also helps build character. But that's the reality of nowadays. We have to teach them to get you an education, you know, if that's what you want to do. Get you a job so you can sustain yourself, because everyone don't get married right off the bat. And that also can, you know, add to peer pressure of thinking, oh, well, I better go hurry up and marry the first thing I run into. Right. No, man, no. So I also teach them with that, you know, reality too. And keep it real with them about the sexual stuff, because they get constantly bombarded with it in the music, television, movies, friends. I mean, it's literally everywhere, and everybody acts like it's the only thing in the whole universe. So, right. So it makes you want to feel like you don't want to be proud of your virginity. Right. So like you said, I instilled that importance in you. You know, to be proud of that. Don't be a sheep all the time. Be different. Right. Yeah. That's what y'all want us to be different. Okay.
Sister Jen had
Yeah.
Sister Jen.
I know what I'm saying. I got it.
Okay, to add to what Keno was saying, it's also too, I had told my son, you know, how to cook, iron, wash clothes, clean up or whatever. And what I told him is, you might not get a wife that can do that, or your wife might get sick, and then you there sitting around and she's sick and you can't do nothing for her. You know, she'll have that excuse. And then I say also, you won't have to pay for a maid. You know, and but some wives take advantage of that too, and let the husband do everything, and the wife is supposed to be a helpmeet. So that's and on top of that, be careful who you get for a wife. Like Keno had mentioned earlier, listen to your parents. If your parents, your dad or your mom, see something that person can't see, listen to them. It might hurt your heart because you deeply in love with that person. But I tell you what, 9 times out of 10, if you listen to them, you'll come out on top.
And I think the key with that real quick is when you listen to what other people outside, it don't have to just be parents. It could be a wise friend or a wise older, church mate. But the point is that they're not in love with that person. When you fall in love with a person, you got rosy glasses on. Yeah. You so enamored with them, you not seeing their fault. But honey, I ain't in love with him. I see his fault. So you should listen to advice. You should. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. Take over.
That's what I'm saying. I just want to say, I was going to touch on what Sister Demo was talking about, because that's very important. And I have a scripture here, First Timothy, and I'm going to go to 2, and I'm going to read 8 and 9. Ralph, he says, I'm going to read 8 and 9 too, because I think sometimes men do not recognize that their presence with God is also important, or their expression of God is also important. And he was just speaking about this. He says, I want men everywhere to lift up holy hands in prayer without anger or disputing. This is an atmosphere for the men to have worship, a form of worship also. It says, also, I want women, this is 1 Timothy 2, I'm talking 8 and 9. I want women to dress modestly. Now, most of the women, the younger women, wants to identify themselves with the world, because this is something that when I first came here when I was around 19, the world was a certain way, but when I came here, El Matthew said, that dress got to go down, it's too short, whatever. And so I did not feel like I didn't know how to dress. When you come to God, I didn't know. But this is some of the things that he had already said. And so I said, I'm willing to do whatever I have to do. It don't matter. It don't bother me. But now sometimes it bothers other people because their mindset is not as open to God as I was. I was really wanting to know. So therefore, you can't offend me about something that I really want to do. I feel like that. And so then that's when I started doing my dress wear and bringing it on down. Like he said, holy women are supposed to be doing this. It says, I want women to dress modestly with decency and propriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearl or expensive clothing. Sometimes we dress up the dead man more than we do the inward man. As long as when you come to God, this dead, your natural man is supposed to be dying daily. But we put more emphasis on the natural man sometimes than we do the spiritual man, dressing him up. It says, but with good deeds appropriate for women who profess to worship God. So if we have women that are supposed to be holy women and supposed to be professing God, let's look the part and let's act the part and do the things that we should be doing. And just remember, your outward man, that's the man that's supposed to be dying daily. So we don't have to put too much emphasis on that. Now, I did this when I was in the Baptist church. I didn't take a Bible to church, but my mama said, you go to church. I didn't take a Bible, but I tell you what, I was clean cut. I had gloves, I had hair, I had shoes, everything matching. This outside man was decked. I was decked in the outside man. And well, my mama Julie, she said, hey, let's get it together. So that's what they did. We had hair and everything, man. We thought we was cute. That's all we was doing was doctoring up the outside man, but the inside I was empty. I didn't have nothing inside. So when you come to God, let's work on the inward man more than the outward man. I understand you can't do it, but I'm saying let's put the emphasis where it should be on your spirit man, working on that one. All right.
What was the subject of that lesson? We had one.
Yeah.
What is the role of the elderly women? Elderly women.
Did you have men in it too? Or did you say men?
No, that's the name of the lesson.
Oh, you said, okay.
They said to me.
All right.
I also want to say too, like Matthew had
You had your hand up, Samantha?
I know when I was raising my girls, and I had all girls, so I can only speak about the girls. But I tell my girls to love themselves and to love so that people would love being around them. And the things that you do in life are things that you don't have to have. It's probably all the life. And I didn't have a girl in grade school. Every one of my girls in school, every one of them went to college. That's education. But one that didn't get married, she has been on such a good job that she's had such good money and stuff to carry her on. And she was engaged 2 times, but she said, unless a man could take care of her better than she could take care of herself, she would rather
Feel up.
no. That's one of the things that girls need to do, like Sister was talking about, telling her boys. Women have things that they want to do, and they don't have to humble down to a man just to get those things they want. They can stand up on their feet and like themselves well enough that they take care of themselves and be responsible enough to care for themselves. If you care for yourself, you care about having a family and having a one and telling your family how to live and what to do. I have one grandson that's a minister. He's not a nice place, but he's a minister. I have one that's a pastor's aide. That's it. But those are 2 boys that my daughter that didn't get married had. The other boys were 2 that they both went to prison, but one of them is the most loving child you ever wanted to see. I kept him most of the time. I could say I really put it on him, and it hurt me when he went to prison. But he went because he was on his way. He wanted to be known as though his brother was known. He's a good thing. But you have to set a standard for yourself. That's what's good and what's not. And in the church, as far as the church is concerned, I know a lot of times, sister have caught me a lot of times, and she'll say, "Now, just what did you worry about?" And I don't ever get mad at her about that. Because she's setting me up to help her, and all the young people that's coming on behind me. And I want to be like where they can say, I want to be like Sister Matthew. I'm going to do things like she said. And not just because I haven't been here a long time, but I can't tell you what to do. Because believe me, I've been through the ringers of the world out there. I know about that world out there. You don't owe me a thing. I am trying to be a better person, and I try to treat everybody like I want to treat. And that's one of the main things of being responsible to y'all and to yourself.
That's a testimony. Amen. Amen.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Don't be sorry.
I just wanted to mention too, for like the other women, a lot of times, I would just speak for myself, a lot of times people don't look at the reality of how this world is set up and how young people deal with certain things. So a lot of young people is scared to come to every person because they only see it one way and they don't try to listen out to the other people. And a lot of times that's what, I'm just being honest, a lot of us younger people have left or have not even tried to come to nobody else because they think, well, other people may not understand me, may not understand where I'm coming from, maybe just, trying to go down my throat with this, and that's why I said I feel like a lot of times elderly people need to look at reality, look at what they may be dealing with to try to help them, and that's right, that's what they can.
Okay, what reality you talking
Yeah,
about?
my hand.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I'm talking.
That's all right.
Um,
Go ahead, sister.
I'm just gonna say what Mason is saying is true enough, because
We coming up, old school, as we call it, coming up old school, this generation is very different. Very different. And if I say, what I'm saying to them, just because we're the way we are, don't hesitate to come and ask us. It might not be what you want to hear, or they might even, criticize you, so and so and so and so. There is somebody, everybody ain't that way. And I might be a little strict or say something harsh, about the younger generation, but don't let that stop you. Don't let it get to the point where you say, I can't go to them. I would rather you come here than to go out there and ask some of them that's outside the church, because they're not gonna give you the right information. Yeah. So take that criticism or whatever.
Asa.
It's funny Mason said that, because I had a discussion with my daddy and mama last week about that. And I was speaking about the same thing, the reason why y'all say 18, when they hit 18, they want to be on out the door, but that's not necessarily the case. If we have an opinion about something, if we talk to anyone, or if we just try to express ourselves to them, it kind of get disregarded. It seems like older people are set in their ways, and they don't want to hear or see it from our perspective, and it just, the church is more tended toward older folks instead of younger folks, to keep us all integrated together, so that we're everybody's enjoying and praising the Lord comfortably. Not like, oh, I just gotta clap my hand like this, because I don't want to be like the world. Like, you don't want to pay attention in the church. You want to be able to praise God. And then when you're expressing your thoughts, like, of course, generations have changed. So it's a lot of different issues that children deal with that wasn't dealt with before, that they dealing with, or maybe it's just in a different level. And it's like, well, it's either this way or you wrong. Or I'm the oldest, you the youngest, you listen to me. So we don't have a voice, and even if we do express that, we know what type of response we gonna get back. It's not like we're trying to learn from each other. It's just y'all teach us. When kids is smarter than adults. They can learn several. So kids have intelligence. So they the next generation. If that's like to say, if the world was going to if the best world was in the past, then there's no hope for the future. We supposed to continue to get great. God's supposed to continue to deal with them. So how can we not listen to the youth and take their ideas and perspectives serious?
You say all kids are smarter than adults.
No, I'm saying that.
What you say?
I'm saying that children work on a genius level, because that's at a certain age group, they can learn more than adults and can retain. Their memory is good. Like, they're just more genius at that genius state. The older you get, the decline, unless you practice.
Okay.
That's
I'm
true.
not saying
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
facts,
I'm laughing.
but not to say that older people don't have wisdom.
Right.
But
experience.
Right, they have experience.
I can say it wasn't right.
Yeah, all that is true. But yeah, all intelligence and stuff, sometimes kids let that go to their head. Sometimes the kids just straight out just wicked. You can raise your child in the way they should go. They got, at the end, they're gonna have their own mind. You can make them come to the temple, from the time they get up to 18, and when they're 18, they gone.
And usually they don't want to.
And then sometimes it's not all their fault. Sometimes it's the parents' fault for letting them get away with so much.
That's right.
Train up the child in the way it should go.
That's the word.
But if everybody here done train their child up, if everybody's child is leaving,
Well, that's
No,
it.
somebody.
Somebody wasn't listening. Yeah, somebody wasn't listening.
Right, they listen to something.
Cause y'all know we was here every Shabbat, every Friday, we was here, so it ain't like we didn't hear the
All
word.
right, you heard it, but you following something that you really want to follow.
You didn't keep it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all an example. Bro, when Ray was staying at my house, she had a cell phone, so a friend called. We didn't have no Wi-Fi in the house, so she went out to the car and used the Wi-Fi on the phone, knowing she wasn't supposed to be on the phone on the Shabbat. Come back in the house, what you doing outside? My friend sent me some pictures. You ain't supposed to be doing that on the Shabbat.
Right.
Now you know that's wrong, but you gonna go do it anyway.
Send a picture.
That's wicked. Yeah, send a picture.
That's the young man, right? See, I disagree. Because you can have when you dealing with God's spirit, you don't ever know how that conversation can lead to where it can be.
What conversation?
Uplifted to them.
What conversation?
So how can you put a boundary on?
What conversation?
The parent is teaching the child what not to do on Shabbat, and you don't see that?
I think that everybody has their different opinions about.
The parent gonna have that opinion because they in their household. And if they tell that child, don't be sending no pictures or receiving pictures from somebody else, that's teaching, the parent is teaching that child. So the child can't say, I don't see what's wrong with that, which they do say it. Ain't nothing wrong with sending pictures on the Shabbat.
But this is the deal, though. You dealing with people out in the world. They ain't gonna respect you on the Shabbat if you just be lenient like that.
And they gonna continue to send the pictures on the Shabbat.
We just got an open discussion. Got a hand.
I was letting
I
them.
just told her.
I was letting them continue. Well, I was gonna continue. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I understand how you feel. But Yah has a certain order that he does. There's no room for somebody to come and try to tell the elders who have already been in this way how they should walk and how we should change things. Yah, he said, I am God and I change not. There's some things that will not change. Okay, we can't change those things that are fundamental to the doctrine, to the word, to the church. Now, as far as this situation, if you adult or whatever, and you in your parents' house, your parents are in charge. Right. I don't care if you're 100 years old, right, and you're in your parents' house. Right. They're still in charge. Right. If you want your opinion, you get your opinion, and you take your opinion, get your own house. Right. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, I can listen to you all day long, but if I have my house ran a certain way, that's our rules. My mama, my daddy, whoever come over, got to listen to those rules. My children got to listen to those rules. And sometimes people get this idea that I'm smarter than you, I know more than you. Yeah, you may have a little smartness, but you don't have any wisdom, any holiness, any righteousness. I'll give a for instance, and then I'm gonna stop. There was an instant where one of our grandsons came over and he wanted to pack his truck at the house. I said, yes, you can park your truck here. Yeah. And so on the Shabbat, he comes out, and that's the day that we stayed home on Shabbat. He comes and he wants to move his truck and want me to receive money. He said, you take $20. I said, man, this is Shabbat and we don't do those things. Man, what the F you talking about? That's my grandmother's house. I tell you, I said, man, I'll tell you something. I'm the head of this house. Look, listen to what I'm saying. And he wouldn't listen. And he cussed me out nasty. He cussed me in. I said, look, I tell you what you do, man. I said, honey, you listen to this? And she said, yeah, I hear it. I said, hey, come and pick the truck up. And don't you bring it back here again. See, there is standards that we all have in our home, and especially on Shabbat. We have to treat Yah with respect and treat our parents with respect. So that's issue in most times, and almost now.
Just to hit on what Maciana and Macy had mentioned, I think a lot of times, I think what Sister Maciana was trying to bring the point is that sometimes the younger generation would like to come to the older generation for relatability. You know, we look to y'all for relatability and not just only this. You know what I'm saying? Not talking about when you're a child and you're being reared up. I don't think that's what they were referring to. I think they were referring to the older, you know, kids who are older teenagers or those who just hit adulthood. You look for relatability to help you deal with reality out there. And what I've seen on the other side of the fence is that all of the older heads have that, but a lot don't want to share it. A lot just rather point the finger.
Right.
And I think there's a way you can point the finger, but also relate, because we all done messed up in some way or another.
Yeah.
The children, sometimes the older kids, they need to hear that. They need to relate to you in the reality. So, and the way I look at it from the older heads' point of view is that they're just trying to tell you the best, what's best. I don't think they're always just doing it just to hit you over the head. I think they're, when you come, you know, person, because they want to give you the best. So the best advice they give you is what the word says. And so in their minds, they're giving you gold. They're giving you the best they can give you. But the kid is also is looking like, okay, but I'm dealing with reality. Can I get some relatability here?
Right.
Can you relate to me, you know, on a human level? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where sometimes the ships miss each other. That's been my own personal experience from what I've experienced and seen, you know, growing up here myself through the years. But also what AC was saying is, you know, to listen to, you know, the kids and input and stuff on certain things concerning, you know, the church. I remember when I first started getting into certain deeper knowledges, especially about wanting to bring out the scientific point of view on things, I was bummed up. That ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Oh, you young, you don't know what you're talking about, and you know what not. That ain't got nothing to do with that. And I still hear it now from sometimes.
Everybody can do that.
Well, no, not everybody. Yeah, I'm just speaking in general. And so, you know, when I would have one-on-one talks, you know, some people would give me words of encouragement, you know, because they could see where I was trying to come from. I would want to just give up and say, forget it. But y'all wouldn't let me. That's where I looked at it, because it was such a burning fire for me. So, you know, I just kept on, and I tried to keep understanding, you know, that everybody don't see things the same way. So that's what, you know, I still try to pursue it, even though everyone don't see things the same way. And so that's what we have to realize with the younger generation. There is some that have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and we should nurture that. We should want that. They are the future of the branch. So we should want to, you know, listen to that and hear them out on some things. If it's silliness, we'll tell them. If it's not, let's consider it. Okay. Sorry.
And I was just going to add to what Shanta was saying. When she stated that she did give up, if you know, the younger generation do try to do that, keep trying. Just don't give up and say, oh, they're not going to listen to me. They're in a different generation, or we can't communicate. And eventually, you get through a little bit.
Yeah, I have seen progress in some jobs.
So it's just the same thing, you know, vice versa. You know, the older ones don't just, you know, like you say, point fingers or whatever, and then the young ones don't give up because the older ones don't understand.
Because you can learn from a child.
Yeah, you can learn
Yeah, you can learn from a child. So if you can learn from a child, how much more can you learn from a teenager or, you know, young adult?
But that child also has to listen to you sometimes.
Because now they got internet, Google, YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Kids can look up any question they want and it pops up. So, you know, if your own family if they're your thoughts seriously and just want you to listen to them, but they can't listen to you, that pushes people.
Okay.
Who was it? Sorry.
Y'all was at the same time.
Yeah. I just like to say, as an older person, I look at a lot of things that the younger generation are going through, and it's because the times have definitely changed, because the times are getting more wickeder and wickeder, and it's getting close to the end of the age for this world, because God is really getting to the point he's tired of this wickedness, and he's ready for his kingdom to be established, and that's going to be established in righteousness and peace and love. But I find out that the younger generation, they don't want to follow the old pathway. They want to do it their way. And when I go and I ask them principal things, well, are you born again? Or do you really know what's going on? Or are you ready for Yah to come to judge you? And they at all. They don't know how to express that, because they are missing the whole root of it. So they don't know if they want to be saved or don't want to be saved. They just want to do it. They want to have what they want to have. But yet, see, you ask them, are you ready for Yah to come? Are you ready? Do you know you're going to be saved? I don't know. Well, why don't you know? I mean, you got all this knowledge coming, this technology coming up and everything. Why don't you know the real thing? This is what Yah's word is telling us. Make sure that you know the way. Make sure of your calling and election. You make sure of that. So if you got all this new stuff and all this other stuff, why don't you have this security that you know what is right and what God is, where you are with God? This is the thing that I find missing in the young generation. It's not there. So what I'm saying is because they have really went their own way and ignored the roots that the old people had. Yes, we come down to, we can explain our salvation, we can explain this, we can explain where you should be at too. Because we've rooted and grounded in the word. Not just what everybody else do or whatever I think or this.
Right. You
got to make sure that your calling and your election is sure. That's your salvation point. That's yours.
Okay. I've been trying to listen to everybody. I know time's getting short, so I'm just trying to get an understanding. From what I'm hearing from the younger people is participation in functionality of the church. Am I correct? What does that have to do with it? What does that have to do with whether or not you judge if because once, how can I put this? We only pretty much see each other on Shabbat. Am I correct?
Correct.
So if the youth are asked you to be more engaged in the church, and from their perspective, the elders are not allowing that, how then do you expect them to want to stay at the church?
Can I throw a little something in there?
Not only that.
No, I just one person at a time. I'm just asking.
He asked, you asked, we only see each other on Shabbat. Is that what you said?
Most of the time we've seen each other on Shabbat or Wednesday night service.
Friday night.
Right. But we're not really engaging with each other outside of the temple too much.
I agree.
Right.
So that's the reason why I'm asking that question.
My understanding was, I think the question of the whole.
Well, I mean, it went somewhere else, so that's why I'm asking the question. Just group up for what I've heard.
The whole thing was again how the younger women are supposed to teach the older women are supposed to teach the young women how to keep at home, do all those things. That's what I thought the whole thing was about.
That was the initial question.
Yeah, and then it went all the way.
Okay, well, we at this point now, so I'm just trying to get the answer.
The point I'm trying to make is here. Oh, and I'm gonna say this. This is the only thing I think I missed, that we missed in this whole thing. The scripture says, find the old path and walk therein. When we find, I think sometimes we miss the root, like Sister said. No,
Wait, okay, somebody explain to me, when you say that statement, what do you mean by that?
Can I answer your question?
Wait, he asked me a question, let me finish.
But he made a statement and I don't want to get off of that.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get my answer.
Okay, well, go ahead, man, go ahead.
Like you said, when we only see each other on Sabbath in church time, if you love me, how come you ain't calling me during the week saying, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? How come you ain't pulling up and checking on people that you say you love? And then one day out of the week, you so concerned about my well-being, but the rest of the day, I don't see you, hear from you, and you don't care nothing about me. You think kids don't recognize that? You think people don't see that?
Recognize that.
But you got your you got my best interest at heart, but I only see you one time a week and only hear from you one time a week.
I think we really getting off the subject.
Yeah, I think so too.
We don't want this
Really
thing
not.
to get
That was
carried
not the
away.
question. I'm really trying to understand. I'm trying to find where the disconnect with the youth and the elder are.
Yeah, I think
What can we do to integrate the youth into the church?
into the
Functionality of the church. I don't mean just attendance. I mean actually participating, having
lot
a
of times
functioning
younger
role
generation,
in the church.
They have felt pushed aside or thrown in the trash.
I haven't
when they
been
want
here
to
as long as,
do, certain things.
and this is from the time I've gotten here up till now. This is the reoccurring thing I hear about the youth and the elder. Is the youth feel pushed aside? The elders feel as though the youth don't listen. Okay, well, what can we do? We see the problem. We understand the problem, right? What can we do to resolve the problem?
Be open,
Brother Miles got his hand up.
That's the last thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm saying, what do the youth want to do? Have they come and approach somebody?
Yes.
And say, I want to do this, I want to do this, or I want to have a part in this, or I want to do that.
Yes,
I
sir.
ain't heard nobody say nothing
Off
like
and on
that.
through the years, yes,
It's
sir. I've
not
been
just
with
the
let the new coming in. Whoever's speaking out.
Have you heard about
Oh, that was my time, so gladness.
Between y'all. Let them know.
Y'all
Whoever
say it.
speaks, that's what
You say
they're
it.
She said her time is up. She said her time is up.
That was the last one.
Hey, y'all, we got about 15 minutes till 1 o'clock.
Well, hey, it's up to the superintendent.
Yeah, it's up to the superintendent.
Yeah, y'all. Go ahead.
Who's superintendent?
There. We only got 15 minutes till 1 o'clock. We should be in there right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you said we added, we going
Yeah,
over.
we
Oh,
way
okay.
over.
Okay.
Where is the
Yeah,
question?
that's the report.
Maybe the next time. We don't have a
Yeah.
class report.
That's long.
Well, y'all.
She ain't trying to sit there and say that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no class.
She said Shabbat Shalom, y'all.
Talking on it, we don't see them in.
But he don't know.
No,
Now, he was saying,
Over 15.
let's see. I said, I was
Now we're having reporting classes.
I thought y'all said we didn't have reporter classes.
Right. But at the same time, though,
Everybody said that, right?
and I go to a mechanic shop.
In class number 3.
Every time I try to fix it, I say, put it down, leave it alone. Don't touch it. You can't learn that way.
Portion of the class.
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom. The branch of Jerusalem and the Kingdom's kingdom. Class 1 minute.
Some of the things I've seen.
Date 12/8/18. Time began at 11:40 a.m. Present 24. Absent 0. Visitors 1. Steve Daniels. Total 29. Offering prayer. Opening prayer. Admitted and closing prayer 9. Subject is what is the role of elderly woman? Reading 1 Timothy 2:8-9. Memory verse 9. Offering $211. Time ended 12:10. 12:45. Teachers: LaShonda Washington, acting teaching at Dejieri. Superintendent: Brother Miles Terry Sr., acting Zen Washington. Assistant Superintendent: Brother.
Introduce for the King's Kingdom class number 3 minutes. Class number 3, send class number 1, offering $5, visitors 0, present 2, absent 1.
Yeah, there's no class.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's no class number 2 today.
Hey. My name on to the system.
I think he just said hers because it's youth day. So he put her as on not assistant. He just said acting. Because it's youth day.
Does anybody else have anything to say before we end the Sabbath
Yes.
school?
I want to say Shabbat Shalom, Happy Hanukkah, and remember when y'all go in the kitchen, you having a bag of chips unless you brought your own drinks, and you're having apple juice or grape juice, and that's it. Because we're having a dinner, okay? No, that's dinner.
Yeah, and I announced that, we're gonna hold to the, tight schedule too, cause y'all enjoy y'all Sabbath school. Whatever it was, or wherever it was at. So you're gonna get, we'll be signing that chauffeur pretty quick, so don't get in there and get relaxed and think you're gonna be there for a while. It's gonna be short, cause as she said,
10 minutes.
you gotta have dinner for it, so.
Is
Hey,
that,
yeah, everybody doing good. Nature did good. You doing good.
thank you.
Xavier did good. Okay.
Y'all still running? Y'all still running?
Who wants to close out prayer? Or what, Deb, can you close out prayer for us?
Father, we come up to you, thank you, Father, for this place. Father, we thank you for letting us to be out. Bless us to go into the other part of the service. Bless the one that you bring in us. Bless the last of our sons. In the name we pray. Amen.
Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor, and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is in thy gates. For 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that in it is, and the rest of the 7th day. Wherefore thou bless the Sabbath day, and hallow it. Exodus the 20th chapter, 8th to the 11th verse.
But it's still, that's not order. Regardless of how that's supposed to go, I'm still supposed to. Nobody can say